Hello, future millionaires, and welcome back to the Get Rich Slow podcast. We're your hosts, Adrian Shermer, Rob Delavan, Mr. Brilliant at the Basics, Lance Johnson. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thea, I'm excited to have you on today. Awesome.
Folks, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, YouTube, where we've got video as well, and Stitcher, among other platforms. As Lance mentioned, today our special guest is Thea Ranney. Thea, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And Thea's with Thea's Organizing Services. Today, we're going to talk to her about her business. She's a professional organizer located in the Portland Metro. And this is another one. I love that we find these jobs that I didn't really know existed in our podcast. And I've been amazed, Thea, at the amount of demand that you've just been slammed with. It's really like a high need service.
Yes, we get everything from needing to pack for vacations to I'm moving frantically and I need an emergency pack out. So I mean, we do everything in between. So it's been crazy busy lately. It's wonderful.
I love it. Well, let's learn about what made you into the person you are today.
Oh, The Compound Effect. Such a good book. If you guys haven't,
Tell us about why you picked this book as an important book that helped you in your life or your business.
So, I mean, it's definitely business, but it's all around. Lately, I've been all about just becoming a better person and better at everything that I do, which includes just living. And so the compound effect is so wonderful. And the majority of the people that I meet, we're all trying to better our lives and make these better progresses and moving forward and all of these things. And the compound effect literally just talks to you about doing that and not beating yourself up about all of the little bad choices that you make, but instead giving yourself praise for all of these small, amazing things that you're doing that are eventually going to change your life down the road, because everything's a compound effect together, which is huge in what I do.
So give me an example of some of the little things that impact your life. Like, I'm a financial guy, so I think of financial, but it's not always just financial that means you're successful. It could be personal things you do on making sure that you leave the house in the morning, that everything's clean, the dishes are put away, the bed is made, just what is it for you?
And it's funny that it's about finances, because this one of my best examples is about finances. And it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, they actually referenced this in the book, and I started doing this at home and it was an immediate effect. And I hate coffee. I don't know if anyone else out there feels the same way, but I like iced mochas. And so I was buying those from the store every day when I started trying to get caffeinated on a regular basis, and was wasting so much money. It was unreal. And because we were trying to get a hold of our finances, our compound effect was we bought an iced mocha machine for me to have at home and make iced mochas here every day. And the cost of that is by far less than what it was with us going out and actually purchasing iced mochas every day. So that one small thing that we do now every day has a huge compound effect on every day and how our money is managed.
Wow. Yeah, super simple. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll kick this off. Did you always know you wanted to be a professional organizer, or did something hit you?
Well, yes and no. So kind of like I think what Adrian was saying earlier, there's a lot of you guys are getting people on here you didn't know that career existed. This career didn't exist back in the day when I was younger. I mean, this didn't start until 1984 is when it actually became a profession for people. And so when I was growing up, I would organize my friends' house. I was always the favorite of all of my friends' parents. We would go and organize their place or do little projects like that around their household. And organizing it's been a part of my life forever. My mother was a realtor, and we used to do short sales back in the day and property clear outs. And we still do that today, which is super funny. It's just kind of cascaded, it seems like, into where we are now. But back in the day, early 80s, this was not a thing. And so now it's becoming a lot more prevalent. I remember when I first got started, I was really excited. I thought I was going to be the front runner and I was starting something new and nobody had done it before. And that was not the case. It's been around for a little over 30 years.
All right. So being an organizer, give us some examples of how you really impacted people's lives. So you got into this career, it's a professional thing. Where's the win for you that you see that just gets you up in the morning?
My win is when we're getting ready to actually do a very emotional job coming up. And it's not necessarily hoarding by any means. However, this woman is so emotionally broken down because of the state of her house, and it is just emotionally done so much to her. And when I went and did our consultation, I was there for 2 hours, which a lot of people know is a very long time for a consultation, just to do a walkthrough. And by the time we were done, she was bawling. As soon as I told her, I was like, no, we got this. We can handle this for you and get your life back in the way that, your brain will appreciate it. And she just melted and started bawling. And like, that's why I do what I do 1000%. It is a need, but it's absolutely a need. It's not a luxury, and it needs to be treated like that for sure.
Okay. I like this one because I feel like the answers can vary a lot. Depends on who you are, right? What advice would you give your younger self?
So much of my life, I have not trusted myself or trusted my thoughts or, the way that I would do things, because we're kind of taught growing up that there's a right way to do this, and that's the right way, and that's the only way. And it's not really true. And I really wish that when I was younger, I would have trusted the things that I knew to be true a lot more. And that's without a doubt the biggest thing I would have told myself growing up, is just to trust who you are and the thoughts that you have, and all the things that you want to do, as stupid as they sound, just do them, and it's okay, and everything's going to turn out fine.
There's a theme there. Like this morning, Lance talked about just trust the process of going through a bathroom remodel. I talk about, just trust the model. It takes me 2 to 5 years to get people to where I think they would be financially, and they're savers instead of spenders. And you just got to trust the progress. It just, some people can do it in 2 years. Some people it takes 5 years. I think it's great advice is understand the process, and trust is a hard thing, especially if you're a distrustful person. I'm not saying you are anything, but people are. But once you can get there, the process is half the battle on everything we do.
Yeah, that's a big deal with that starts with that self-trust, right? And then you put the people in place that around you that you can rely on too. Okay. The last question we have for you today, Thea, is what kind of schooling education did you endure? And I think we carefully use that word endure to get you on the path you're on now.
None. So there is schooling that you can do to become nationally certified, which means you're allowed to work in every major city in the United States. I am like 10 hours away from being certified in every state, which is super awesome. But in regards to schooling to prepare you for this, no, there's nothing. I feel that I have a very eclectic background in my professional history. And I feel that I did accounting and payroll for the state. I feel like that I can handle any office and any amount of paperwork that you throw at me. I also used to do audit preparations for small businesses. So I would go from business to business, go through all of their past files for like 7 years and organize them and do all of the things. And then when, growing up, like I said earlier, my mother and my grandmother were real estate agents, and they were the top realtors in the state of Oregon in a super small town for like 4 years running. And working alongside a realtor as a child, you learn all kinds of things that random people just don't know. And that's a very real thing. And so, I have an extremely eclectic background, and that's what really allows me to work with the serious variety of clientele that I have and be able to help them in all the different kinds of ways and phases that I do. So there is schooling. There was not schooling when I decided to embark on this professionally, but there is now.
So what does that, so you're 10 hours away. What does that look like? Like what did you have to go through on that side of things? Was it an hourly X number of hours, or I mean,
Yeah,
is there an
so
organizing board? That's not
yes,
something
there is. So it's called NAPO, National Association of Professional Organization.
Okay.
And so it's just to become a professional organizer, you have to have 1,500 hours of paid organizing work. And then once you have that and you can prove that, then you can actually take their courses and start learning about specialty skills. So, which I plan on doing all of them. I believe there's about 50 different programs that you can actually get signed up for and target. A lot of my clients, I work with a lot of hoarding clients, and I've been obsessed with psychology most of my life. So that's going to be a huge thing that we embark on once we get to that stage, for sure. But there's ADHD stuff for you to really focus on. There's so many different classifications of specialties that you can do with organizing.
Wow.
It's something a lot of people don't know.
So this concept, and we've talked about this on other episodes, but this concept of like, okay, you learn certain things in school or trainings or what have you, and then really you don't get into the meat of it until you really do it, right? You got to get into the deep end and keep your head above water. So that background that you have, which is incredible. I know you've run other businesses.
Yes.
I mean, it allows you to empathize with whatever problem you're solving, tackling for the client.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. I owned a porta john septic company for 10 years. So plumbing issues, we deal with a lot, shockingly enough, with what I do. I did disaster restoration for a few years. So especially living in Pacific Northwest, that comes in handy a lot, because it's amazing how often I go into someone's house and I'm like, you have mold damage, there's been water damage around here, and you need to call your insurance company, and actually help walk them through how to deal with their insurance company dealing with an insurance claim.
That's an art form in itself.
I'm one of those people. I'm a very firm believer in college. I think that my mother was like a professional student. She went to college for everything. She just wanted to learn. And the stuff that she knew it's unsurpassable by the amount of people that I've met. She knew so much stuff, so much random stuff, and had such deep knowledge of so many different things. She was able to help almost anyone that came around her. And I feel like that's definitely a big portion of how I live my life, it seems like. But firm believer in college. If you are going to go to college for something specific, my advice as someone I'm also a licensed massage therapist. Something that goes with that is interning. If you guys are going to college for something specific, please intern while you're going to school, because you will learn more from that than you need to know the basics, and that stuff you learn in school, and that's super important. But learning the job is entirely different than school, entirely different.
So what you're saying is you don't recommend somebody getting out of college with no job experience and $100,000 worth of student loan debt and
starting a business. No.
Hold on. I don't actually like this work. That's
my husband's a prime example of that. My husband is a trained chef by trade. He went to culinary school for a while, and it wasn't until he got into the intern portion of that entire program that he's like, I hate this. And by then he had already signed over all of his contracts, all of his student loans, and didn't want to finish after that because he hated it so much. It's important, whatever you guys are wanting to do, before you go and you just go bankrupt trying to go to college for it, intern first somewhere and make sure it's something you really enjoy, because there's a million different aspects to whatever career path it is you're choosing, and making sure you like 90% of them is pretty important.
Novel idea. I didn't know that we would meander our way into college career counseling, but here we are. And it's incredibly valuable, especially for our younger listeners.
Yeah, I went to school for cosmetology, for massage therapy, for accounting. And I can tell you right now, I like being a business owner, regardless of what that means in regards to what I went to school for. So look into stuff before you just go there. It's important.
That's cool.
Love it. All right, the wonderful introduction to you and what you do and your theories on life. Really enjoyed hearing how education is more than just where you went to school too. You're drawing on a lot of different life experiences. Where can folks find you and your business?
Everywhere. I'm everywhere. So on Facebook, you can find us at Thea's Organizing Services and Hauling. Yes, we have hauling services on our businesses as well, which is why we changed how it looks on Facebook. On Instagram, we are at Thea's Organizing. And then we have, of course, our website, theasorganizingservices.com. And my email, which honestly, I need to say this out loud. I was super shocked about this. So it's Thea's OS at Outlook. It's also theasos@outlook.com. So either way, it works out pretty well.
Depends on your urgency.
And then my phone number is 541-806-4734. And I answer day and night. So call me if you ever need me.
Unless you're trying to sell you a home auto warranty.
That's real.
Awesome. Thea's Organizing Services. You can find our websites. Me and Rob and Lance are available in the show notes. It'll link you through. Again, thanks so much, Thea, for your time. This is episode 1 of 3. We're going to be continuing this series on the next 2 episodes, learning more about where your business is at now and where it's headed in the future. And coming up for events, again, our site, roi-fa.com/events. That'll bounce you through Lance's site, where we post all of our calendar events coming up. I know there's a Learn and Grow on August 12th, a Summer Bash on August 20th, some photos with Santa on the 12th, and there's always some sip and mingle events in there too. Great opportunity to network and meet people, and we usually do some educational stuff in there as well with different speakers, just adding value.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening. This was episode 1 of 3 with Thea, and we'll look forward to number 2 and getting to know you better, Thea. Thank you.
Thank you.